It's morphin' time. Pterodactyl.
Hi there, this is Datila with Rangers of Wrestling, bringing you the Wrestling Time post show. And for tonight's show, I will be viewing Monday Night Raw. Alright, so for Monday Night Raw, kicked off with Becky Lynch. She basically said that the Royal Rumble is in less than 2 weeks away. And she said it's so hot that stars from the past, she named Mickey, James, Lita, the Bella Twins, just to name a few, are coming back. And she says that she got Doudrop a title match. And then she makes people better. And then she beats them. So this whole segment was supposed to lead into the opening match, which I'll get to right now. So as she's saying this, Doudrop interrupts her and says that Becky didn't give her a title match. She went out and got it herself. And then Bianca Belair comes out and says you can't spell greatest without EST. And Bianca officially declares herself a participant in the Royal Rumble. And Liv Morgan comes out, also says she's going to participate in the Royal Rumble. And this leads to their tag match. It's Becky Lynch and Doudrop versus Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair. Only watched 2 matches and that's it. Wow, okay. Which 2 did you watch? Just out of curiosity, Steve. So they really made it obvious that Doudrop and Becky Lynch were not going to get along in this match. She squashed Bianca in the ring apron. Becky pulled her feet on the ropes like she always does. Doudrop then cost Becky the pin, and she ended up winning the match for her team. And she sent Becky Lynch a message by squishing her at the end. So I have to say, one thing that I do like is that they're making Doudrop this, how can I say this, unstoppable force, I guess, so to speak. And they're really making her look strong going into the Royal Rumble. But we think we both know that she's not going to win at the Royal Rumble. But, you know, WWEs, they should have done this with Liv Morgan. Seriously. Then we get the Kevin Owens show. And his special guest is his best friend, Seth Freakin Rollins. Kevin Owens has had multiple best friends in the WWE. First, Sami Zayn. He turned on Sami Zayn. Then Chris Jericho. He turned on Chris Jericho. And now Seth Freakin Rollins. So history tells us he's going to turn on Seth Freakin Rollins. So Owens says that he admires Seth Rollins because of his suits. And he admires Rollins' courage. That he said it took a lot of courage for Seth Rollins to go to SmackDown and get in Roman's face. And he says that Seth Rollins set the table that Roman claims to be the head of. And that Rollins is going to bring the title back to Raw. And Owens declares himself a participant in the Royal Rumble match. And then Damian Priest interrupts and says that he calls them delusional idiots and basically sets up their match. Damian Priest versus Kevin Owens. I have to say that I remember there was a time when people wouldn't declare themselves in the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble would just happen. And then we would just figure out who's in the Royal Rumble. But now everybody's declaring themselves a participant in the Royal Rumble. This is like during WrestleMania season. Everybody points at the sign. So I guess this is a new tradition. All right, so like I said, then we had Damian Priest versus Kevin Owens. This was actually a good match. And I'm surprised that it was a clean finish of a match. Well, sort of. You know, Kevin Owens playing possum. First 2 matches of the night. Really? You only saw the first 2 matches? Huh. Okay. Kevin Owens playing possum, pretending he's injured to pin Damian Priest. I have to say, I'm really surprised it was a clean finish and Seth Rollins didn't come out and there was no screwy finishes. So I really liked that match. Enjoyed that match. It was a good match. Then we get the Alpha Academy graduation ceremony. People were booing him and he said, "Boo, don't boo education. That's disgusting." He has a point. You should not boo education. Education's important. And then he said, Danny Stanton said, "I didn't watch it yet." Oh, well, you're not missing much, honestly. he said that Otis does not have a last name that he is aware of. But that is true. What the hell is Otis' last name? Raw, probably boring. you'll see right now. So then he says that he helped Otis reach his full potential. Matt Riddle comes out dressed in a cap and gown, looking like the Statue of Liberty. Oh, he only needed the little torch thing. And he said he was driving with the top down and blowing his. That sounds like Zack Ryder's old theme song, "Driving with Top Down." And Chad Gable says that Riddle wasn't invited to their ceremony, and Riddle says that he's proud of both of them. Basically, the gist of this segment is that they're going to have a rematch. But in order to have a rematch, according to Chad Gable, they need to pass a mental aptitude test, which I have no idea what that consists of. But I don't know why. I don't understand why they have to go through that when they're champions. They should get an automatic rematch. And then, I don't understand why Big E is not facing Brock Lesnar when he should get a rematch since he lost the title. But if I recall, I think we had a segment a couple years ago saying that there were no rematches in WWE, which is ridiculous because we get rematch after rematch, week after week. So I don't understand why that's not happening, but it is what it is, I guess. Then we had Austin Theory versus Finn Balor. Prior to this match, Vince McMahon threatened to beat up Austin Theory, basically saying he was going to drag him out of the ring, beat him up, and then take a selfie and send it to his mom. That motivated Austin Theory to win this match. It wasn't a bad match. It's just poor Finn Balor, I think, deserves a lot better than what he's getting jobbing to Austin Theory. Steve Callahan saying, hello. Yeah, he deserves a lot better than that. So then we're supposed to get Rhea Ripley versus Nikki ASH, but Queen Zelina and Carmella interrupt, and then Nikki at ASH beats up Rhea Ripley before the start of the bell. So the match doesn't even start. I will say this. Prior to this, Nikki ASH cut a promo where she says that Rhea is the villain. And she doesn't see herself as a villain in her story. That sometimes superheroes have to do things superheroes that normal people don't want to do. I actually kind of like that. I like the fact that Nikki ASH doesn't see herself as a villain and she sees Rhea as the villain. That's actually very interesting. Very interesting if you ask me. I actually really like that. I know some people will probably hate it and trash it and think it's stupid, but I actually like it. It makes sense that Nikki ASH doesn't see herself as the villain. She sees Rhea as the villain, and she blames Rhea for them ending their friendship. So that makes total sense when you think about it. It really does. At least from my point of view, it makes sense. But I don't know what everybody else thinks. What do you guys think? Do you think that guys makes sense? I think it does. As the saying goes, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Raw was awful. This show should be called Raw is Promos. Yeah, I know, right? All right, so then we had Reggie versus Omos. And before the match started, Tamina, Akira Tozawa, and R-Truth were on the outside chasing Dana Brooke. I have to say, I was a little worried that Reggie was going to actually defeat Omos here, but that did not happen. It was a squash match through and through, with Omos squishing Reggie as he jumped from the top rope. So this was a very quick match. There was less wrestling on this show and more promos. Yeah, that is true. There was. I didn't even notice that until you pointed that out. But thank you. So Omos is still having squash matches. At this point, he should not be having squash matches. He should be in an established feud. But of course, he was not ready to separate from AJ Styles yet. I don't know. I get that they needed to be separated, but I think they pulled the trigger a little too quickly. They really should have waited. Reggie beat Omos in a fantasy. That is true. In a fantasy, because Omos destroyed Reggie. But yeah, he's definitely not ready to be on his own. Then we had Maryse and Beth Phoenix face to face. Of course, Maryse tried to talk herself out of the match. She said that Miz sometimes says things he isn't here, and that she has to clean up his mess. Basically, she tried to plead with Beth Phoenix, saying that they're both moms, that they should be friends. This was all set up. The Miz comes out, attacks Edge. Edge turns the tables on him, and while Beth has her back turned, why she would have her back turned to Maryse is beyond me. She knocks Marie. She hits Beth Phoenix with her purse, and as we find out that there's a brick inside her purse. Yeah, it's kind of dangerous hitting people with bricks. Michael 101591 says, "I'm scared that WWE is going to make Omos win the Royal Rumble. That should not happen. That should not happen at all. That should not happen." So, I don't know why, but we found out next week that Miz is going to throw Maryse a birthday celebration. And as we all know, weddings, birthdays, and contract signings in WWE, or I should say in wrestling in general, never end well. So I'm expecting that to be a complete and total disaster. Then we got an 8-man tag match. It's the Street Profits and the Mysterios versus the Dirty Dawgz and Apollo Crews and Commander Azeez. So this match wasn't bad. It was not bad. Honestly, it was a decent match. Of course, the Street Profits and the Mysterios pick up the win. The Mysterios then throw the Street Profits over the top rope, and Ray throwing his own son over the top rope. That's interesting. If that happens, I write. What were you gonna write if it happens? Oh, almost winning. Miz throwing Maryse a birthday celebration. I'll be taking my bathroom break for that next week. That's your bathroom break? Okay. So I can't believe Rey Mysterio threw his own son over the top rope. Question is, will he do that at the Royal Rumble? Bet you she gets a birthday cake in the face. Ooh, Danny Stanton. I honestly see that happening. She probably will get a birthday cake in the face. Or someone's going to come out of the birthday. Hey there, Datila, how's it like in New York City? Oh, that's so cool. I like that. So show things. I like that. Hey there. You're 1,000 miles. I'm 1,000 miles away from you. I know that song. All right, and so then after that, we had the main event. It was Bob. Oh, actually, before we get to the main event, we had an update on Veer, who is still coming to Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna get old before real Veer shows up to Monday Night Raw. I really am. If he does not debut at the Royal Rumble, which I think he should debut at the Royal Rumble at this point, then I have no idea when he's debuting. Honestly, he's still making his way to Monday Night Raw. It's been since October, so November, December, January, 3 months, and he still can't find his way to Monday Night Raw. Veer is still coming to cater. Oh my God, Michael 101. I was trying to remove one above you, it wouldn't allow me, and I would walk 5,000 miles just to be me and Swerve rocking at NYC. Oh, can I come too? Yeah, seriously. How long does it take the man to get to Raw? If he doesn't, like I said, if he does not debut at the Royal Rumble, he's never gonna debut, or we're gonna get an Emelina situation. And they're portraying him as this big, threatening, scary monster. We might get a Brodus Clay situation, and he might debut a completely different gimmick. And then Alexa Bliss is also coming to Raw. I swear, if she comes to Raw before Veer, that's an injustice and a conspiracy, like Sami Zayn would say. Like, Veer never coming. We're all gonna be. It's gonna be December 31st, 2022, and Veer's still not gonna come to Monday Night Raw. Alexa Bliss. It seems like with Alexa Bliss, though, they're trying to revert her back to maybe her old gimmick, the goddess of WWE, which is why she's supposedly attending therapy, maybe. That's what it seems. At this point, she might just debut at the Royal Rumble. I don't know. I really don't know where they're going with this. So then in the main event, we get Bobby Lashley versus Seth Freakin Rollins. I actually like this match. I heard Dean Ambrose is WWE again. Is it true? I highly doubt that. I really highly doubt that. If anything, I think Chris Jericho might be more of a surprise entrant than Dean Ambrose. 2024 Veer is still coming. That is true. We're going to be in a whole new decade before Veer shows up. So this is actually a good match. I actually like this match. I was enjoying this match until the end. So in typical WWE fashion, there had to be a DQ. The Hurt Business got involved, the tag Bobby Lashley, causing the DQ. Bobby Lashley speared Benjamin through the barricade, and the Usos super kick Seth Rollins to end Monday Night Raw. Brett J. Rasmussen's got stuff he's got to say. It's Callahan says that Cody Rhodes is going to be in the Royal Rumble. Michael 10159 says that match meant nothing either way. Honestly, I hate, like, I get what they're trying to do, but I hate the fact that they ruined a good match with that damn DQ. It really did. It really, really did. I was actually enjoying that match, and I get that WWE is trying to protect both of them, but someone's got to win. Someone's got to lose. You're not going to tell me, and for the love of Christ, if Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar ends in a DQ, I think I'm going to turn my TV off. That match needs to have a clear, concise winner, and it'll probably be Lesnar, but still, it needs to have a clean, clear finish. It's Callahan, not Callahan. Well, what did I say? Callahan? Did I say Callahan? I think I did. Raw was a 0 out of 10. Give me 1 second as I am being joined by my good friend from the biggest AEW mark I know, Brett Rasmussen.
Oh, look, I am Raw. Hold on, wait. I can do this. Oh, haha. I was like, I could do this. Hold on. I can just.
What do you have to say?
About Raw?
Yeah.
Oh man, you have no idea how many times the pacing of that show frustrated the hell out of me. I think the one that, like, what was it? It was when it was the Chad Gable segment. It was the so Chad Gable and Otis come out, go to commercial. They go to, I think they did like earlier.
Michael 101.591 agrees with you. The pacing is awful every single week, Brett.
Not wrong.
Callahan says Brett.
Hey, it's me. But no, of course, like it's like on Raw or SmackDown. It's terrible. I don't get it. Like, someone comes out and then they go to commercial, then it's a promo, then it's a previously on, and then it's a video package, and then it's another like promo. Like I think the only bit that I actually liked was the Academy, and that segment should not have worked. That entire segment should not have worked, but it did, because like the entire time I'm just laughing. I'm laughing at the stupidity of what
Michael 101.591 says Otis looked like he was wearing a bathrobe instead of a gown in that segment. Really? I didn't pay attention.
Well, it's the, mind you, the gown he was wearing was freaking huge.
So that entire segment was awful.
I mean, it's like, I'm laughing. You're right. This, like, it was bad. I'm not saying it was good. I enjoyed it. It's like watching The Room. The Room is a terrible movie, but it's hilarious because of how terrible it is. That's why I was like, oh, this is hilarious. Why? Because, like, Chad Gable, like, I hate it that they, like, oh, Chad Gable can't do anything. Why? Because he's a small one. Oh, no. Oh, it's going to go ahead and get Matt Riddle. Oh, no. Here it comes. And then Randy Orton's in the back and goes, okay, RKO. Oh. And then, oh, no. Chad Gable got down. Oh, no. Like,
I'm surprised you watch Monday. The thing that surprises me here the most is that you actually watch Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
That way it's raining outside. You caused with it to rain because you watch Monday Night Raw.
I watch wrestling. Like I watch. It's not. I'm not like. Yes, I love AEW because I enjoy it.
Oh my god! 101.9 is the same. Different day.
Is he saying that AEW is equal to Raw? Because that's a lie.
I think he's talking about Raw. I don't think he's talking about that.
Okay, because like Raw is it was not good. It was not good. Like
there are some things I liked about Raw.
Well, they were like, well, okay, so it was that segment. Like, and the reason is, as I said, credit to the guys in the ring. Like when Matt Riddle came out in the gown, I couldn't stop laughing. It was hilarious because it's just how stupid everything is. That segment should not have worked, but because it's Chad Gable, because he's just a dweeb and he can make anything work. Matt Riddle's great. And I mean, even here, we got to see a little, just a tad, just a little.
It's Callan. Callan, did I say that correctly now, Steve? Says, but I saved myself. Talking about Raw, AEW has much better build and better matches.
For the most, yeah. I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, like the Did you talk about the Miz and Maryse?
I talked about everything already.
Okay, so we're at the end of the show. Okay, like that whole segment, like it's just a repeat. It's okay. So you have Miz does a thing, set up a match with Edge. Miz messes up. Maryse gets mad. Then we go into Maryse goes ahead and goes like, oh, boo-hoo me. I got like Miz talks too much, or I got speared because of Miz, because of my husband, da-da-da-da-da. But it's all a ploy because here comes the Miz to beat up Edge, and Maryse goes ahead and joins, but now it's this time she beats up Beth with a brick. Oh no, they were all in on it. Like it's the same thing.
Now that we're talking about that again, I have to say it is the same thing every time. They fought Brie and Daniel Bryan, they lost. They fought Nikki and John Cena, they lost. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna fight Edge and Beth Phoenix.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. Like, look, I personally, Brett, I very much love the Miz. Like,
once again, with Miz and Maryse, with Edge and Edge is the same.
It's formulaic.
I can't say that on YouTube.
It's the same crap. I know it's the same crap. He's not wrong. It's formulaic. Like the opening. Well, like, and I'm kind of jumping around, but like
yeah, you are.
Like for the formulaic opening. It was like, so what? Becky Lynch comes out, goes ahead and goes, I'm the man. I have a match with Doudrop, but I made the match because I make matches, and I'm the reason she's in it. Da 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 da. Which is true. She totally went ahead and made sure that Doudrop got into. I love, like last week, the ending, that match was great, and the ending made sense. Because Becky Lynch is like, I don't want to fight Belair because I've already beat her, and she can be a threat. Like, she could actually beat me. And then Liv Morgan, because of the feud for the past like months, the blow off of that, Liv Morgan showed Becky that she could go toe to toe with her. So
Liv Morgan is winning the Royal Rumble, isn't she?
I don't think so. I don't think so. We can talk about who's winning the Rumble
next week.
Oh God. But like, so you have Becky come out, then Doudrop comes out and then she goes, "Whoa, I made the match myself. It's because of me." Da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Becky comes out first, then it's Doudrop, then it's Belair, then it's Liv. It's the same thing. And what are they all talking about? I'm better than you, Becky.
Michael 101.591 says, watch they have Lita or a legend win the Royal Rumble. Honestly,
she's not. I honestly, if I would predict or bet on who would win the Women's Rumble, I would either say it would be Bianca but the reason is to continue the storyline since SummerSlam. You could do that. I mean, again, who do you have? They have no one. Like, it would either be Bianca or Alexa Bliss. One of the two. And
I would think Alexa Bliss, honestly. I would think Alexa Bliss.
Well, they're doing this whole journey back to Raw, which that was
She's gonna come to Raw before Veer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we saw that video package that we haven't seen for like a month. Like, where is Veer? And apparently,
video package. That just reminds me. I forgot to talk about the Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley video package, which was awesome. You gotta give WWE. They always know how to do video. If the one thing WWE knows how to do correctly is video packages.
I will gladly watch like their video packages, not like previous, like the opening to SmackDown last Friday to be like, hey, Seth Rollins is going to be Roman's next opponent. That video package was amazing because it like you have the whole thing and you're telling the story like, oh, I've beaten everyone, and then Adam Pearce goes ahead and say, I got an opponent for you. And then they do the whole like the Shield call, the Shield like the whole Shield call, like Sierra Alpha Data, like that kind of like, ooh, and they do the whole thing. And like I didn't realize this because I did watch SmackDown when that episode of SmackDown 2 weeks ago. I didn't realize that when Seth was knocking on Roman's door and Roman's like, who the hell is that? He's doing the bum 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 bum. So he knocked on the door to Roman's old theme. That was like that in video package of like just referencing Shield. Mwah, chef's kiss. Love it. Oh, like their video packages are
definitely.
I love it. But like,
I have to say, it just occurred to me that this year I had to Google to find the exact date. This year in April will be 10 years since Brock Lesnar first returned to the WWE and he attacked John Cena. What a crazy 10 years. Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. So like it I mean, again, like Raw is 3 hours. I mean, I will say, like recently, I would rather if I like. I mean, again, both Raw and SmackDown are, but at least with Raw, at least recently, there have been maybe 1 or 2 segments where I can go, oh, that was great, or oh, that was not too bad. This past SmackDown, oh my god, like it was terrible. We finally got a reasoning of why Naomi is getting screwed over by Sonya Deville. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh, Naomi, you can't touch me because I have this jacket. And it's not metaphorical as in like, I'm the GM, I'm a general manager or WWE official. No. I have this jacket on, this actual jacket. It's a shield. You can't hit me. Oh no, what's happening with the AC? Why is it so hot in here? I need to take off this jacket. Naomi comes in. Huh, you don't have a jacket on? I'm going to beat you. I'm like, I hate this. Ugh. They're like, no build, nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. And like, what? Okay, so what? We had the women's segment. You had, what was the next thing? So you had the women's promo. What was the next thing?
Oh, hold on. Let me pull out my notes. You had the Kevin Owens show. Then
that was not bad. That was actually
I
not
like
bad.
The Kevin Owens show.
I very much do enjoy the best friends of Seth and Kevin.
History tells us Kevin Owens is going to betray Seth Rollins, though.
Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
He betrayed Sami Zayn. He betrayed Chris Jericho.
I'm not like, I really want, like, I know that they're repeating the Festival of Friendship thing. This very much feels Festival of Friendship. But like,
oh, when are you gonna have a painting of Kevin and
it's not gonna be like that whole thing, but it's that like Kevin is like, believe in me, I don't betray my guys. And that's like,
they're gonna have a team Seth and Kevin or team Kevin and Seth.
I don't know. But like Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens are great, and they just make that work. So you got that promo, and then you had Damian Priest come out and go like, "I challenge you now." And then the match was fine. The match was good. It's Damian Priest and Kevin Owens. You can't go wrong with that. The match was fine. And what is it? Yeah, Kevin Owens. I actually didn't mind the Kevin Owens went ahead and feigned an injury.
Played possum.
Played possum. So he was like, "Oh, my leg! Oh God, what is happening?" And the ref calls over a trainer and stuff. And Damian's like, "Come on, let's go, let's fight, let's go." And then Kevin Owens goes, and then he beats him up and pins him 1, 2, 3, and he gets out of Dodge. And I actually didn't mind that because it fits to the characters.
Yeah,
it fits to the characters that we have in front of us. I very much do miss like cool Damian Priest. Like, I'm with Bad Bunny. I came from NXT. Damian Priest. I'm not a fan of this whole the Damien. Don't make me mad or you'll wake him up. Like this whole. I'm not a fan of it because when it first became a thing, he would just DQ himself because he was kicking too much ass, and he gets disqualified because he was kicking too much ass. Like, it made no sense. But whatever. Okay, so you had that. Then what was after that match?
Austin Theory versus Finn Balor.
I very much I don't like seeing Mr. McMahon on my television. I really don't. Especially with all the releases, and then just one of the more current things is the whole article about the TNT, and they had a match with the woman, and they were doing self-mutilation, and that was the Rampage match between on Christmas, or it was New Year's.
The street fight.
Yeah, it was street fight. The Bunny and it was Allie, the Bunny, and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Ty Conti. And what a freaking match that was. That match was amazing. But like that quote literally was very much like Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon has done this before. Vince McMahon wrote a letter to Turner back in the 90s saying that he were doing the exact same thing with WCW. There have been reports saying that when AEW during the Nick Gage fight, when Domino's had the ad on, WWE were trying to kind of like go like just tell reporters or tell advertisers, be like, "Hey, this happened. You don't want this, do you?" Hence why all of that. And again, it's so I just saw that article and laughed because I'm just like, God, Jesus, like. Whatever.
But here's kind of an argument. So you said that WWE's biggest problems is building young stars. Well, maybe Vince McMahon working with Austin Theory is him trying to build Austin Theory. So,
I see that I mean, that is what they're doing. That is the point. Austin Theory is like Mr. McMahon. Like you hear it in the crowd. Is that when Mr. McMahon hits the screen, you hear the crowd go whether or not that is. Piped in. Thank you. Whether it's piped in or not, you can hear the audience go regardless. I'm not going to say that it's piped in. I'm not going to say that it isn't. But you can hear it. So the point of it is trying to make Austin Theory a star. The problem is that
the way they're going about it.
Exactly. Like they don't know how to make new stars. That's the problem. Because like Becky Lynch is a big star, not because of WWE, because of herself. Like she got herself over, and we told them this was back in 2018, 2019. The year of the man, like we were like,
did Becky really get herself over, or was it Nia Jax that played a part by breaking her nose?
I mean, no, it's Becky. Becky got herself over because, like, the thing is that, like, yeah, Nia Jax definitely was the catalyst because she's the one who broke her nose, and I mean, mind you, Nia Jax stopped hurting people. Mind you, she's not with the company anymore, but regardless. Becky Lynch could have just took it and went like, oh my nose, oh no, my nose. No, she took it and was like, yeah,
could have been Marsha Brayden, bro.
Like, no, she was like, yeah, I beat your ass, and my people gonna beat you and screw you, Ronda Rousey. Like, it was like I loved it. Like it was great. Becky Lynch got herself over. Kofi Kingston, we got him over, but WWE was like, we don't want him. Fine, we'll put the
and
title.
you know what the sad part of all of that is, which is the topic that I want to talk about after you finish discussing Raw, is Mustafa Ali was originally supposed to be in that match.
I was gonna come on here and talk about that. Yeah. Oh,
that's the sad part of it all. Is that
I got a lot of stuff to say about that too.
Is that Mustafa Ali was originally supposed to be in that match. Had he not gotten injured, it makes you wonder, right? Makes you wonder.
Okay. Let's talk about Mustafa Ali.
Okay, hold on. So, earlier this past weekend on a Saturday, Mustafa Ali requested his release from WWE. He basically went on his Instagram and he posted a message saying that his message is bigger than wrestling and he can't do that in WWE. Your thoughts on Mustafa Ali requesting his release?
Let me quickly, because he actually put up a video.
I know on Instagram. I'm trying to find it too.
Actually put it up on his Twitter too, so I actually have it. I actually retweeted it myself. You can follow me at DualShockedBOG on Twitter if you want to see that. Anyway, personal plug. But anyway, this is what he has. So it's a video from him, and pretty much what it states is, quote, "I have a message that is much bigger than my dreams in pro wrestling. Despite my best efforts, I will not be able to deliver this message while working with WWE. Therefore, I'm requesting my release from WWE." Yeah. One, good for him. Look, Mustafa Ali is one of the most creative guys, one of the most creative professional wrestlers in the business today. He's a fantastic wrestler. You can watch him on the Cruiserweight Classic. All of his work, like in 205 Live. But like, my God, how many times has WWE pulled the rug from under him? In 205 Live,
I heard he had a disagreement with Vince. So yeah, he did.
Oh,
apparently.
Yeah. So this is what happened.
But before we get into that, I definitely do agree with you, Fred. He had numerous stops, just like Liv Morgan's push, stopped, and stalled. First, with the whole he was supposed to be the hacker. We never got the bottom to that.
Go further back.
That gimmick was dropped. Then he got Retribution. That really didn't amount to anything. Where the hell? Well, speaking of Retribution, where the hell is Mason T-Bar? They got split up, and we haven't seen them.
They're on Main Event. That's what they're doing. They're on Main Event because who cares?
I heard Veer's on Main Event too.
Who? What?
I heard Veer's on Main Event too. Then he got paired in a team with Mansoor. That went nowhere, and he kind of was preaching something kind of controversial with kind of looked like a political.
Okay. So let me go through Mustafa Ali's history. So there have been many times. You are right. So even before the hacker and before Kofi Mania, in 205 Live, they pretty much based the show around Mustafa Ali and it wasn't like, I think it was Neville, who's now Pac. And I think there was one other person, or Cedric Alexander. There we go. It was Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. They wanted to base the show around them. Mustafa Ali never touched the cruiserweight belt ever. They put the belt on Enzo Amore and Drew Gulak, or they put the belt on guys who are like, you're not cruiserweights, or like this, like these are the guys. These are the guys. Why aren't you doing it over there? So that happened. Then they moved Mustafa Ali to SmackDown, and then you had the whole pretty much like, he injured himself, forcing him out of the gauntlet match. Mind you, props to the late great Brody Lee, who saved him from getting absolutely destroyed. I still remember that. Oh my God. But Mustafa Ali got injured, I think at a house show or an episode of SmackDown or something. I can't remember. But he got injured, and he was forced to be pulled out of the gauntlet match. So for the replacement, they got Kofi. Kofi's spot was supposed to, all of the way it was structured and the way it was done was supposed to be for Ali. The whole, like, you know, Kofi lasted through the first, like, I think it was 4 to 5 people up until the last 1 or 2, and then got axed. The way it was structured was supposed to be for Ali, but they gave it to Kofi instead. And then because of that, we went, Kofi's the guy. Kofi's the guy.
It makes you wonder, have Mustafa Ali not gotten injured, would it have been Mustafa Ali versus Bryan probably?
Oh, yeah. The reason that spot was made for him was because Bryan went to Vinnie Mac and was like, I don't want to fight. All of your top baby faces are in their 40s. I don't want to fight them. I want to fight younger guys. So he campaigned to fight Ali. That's why they made that spot. And that was going to be that match. But then
makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder.
Exactly. But that's just one time. So you have that.
Poor Ali. I feel for him.
So you never touch the 205 belt because he could just multiple times got screwed over. Was going to have the Kofi spot, but he didn't because he got injured. And that's no one's fault. I cannot blame WWE for doing that. Injuries happen, stuff happens, it sucks. But what I can blame WWE on is that it just seems like if you ever get injured, unless you're already one of Vinnie Mac's favorites, you don't get a second shot. And if you do, you better be freaking lucky, or you better just prove yourself to infinity and beyond to Vinnie Mac to be like, no, I deserve this. But pretty much 80 to 90% of the time, if you get injured, you're not getting
I think you can name a handful of wrestlers that happened to. Dolph Ziggler. He got a concussion. He was never world champion again. Who else?
Now Dolph Ziggler's just the gatekeeper for, and mind you, look, Dolph Ziggler, if Dolph is happy being the gatekeeper, awesome.
Oh, Finn Balor. He got injured after winning the Universal title.
Never was the same again. Never was the same again. My God, that frustrates the crap out of me. They put a rocket to him, shot him to the moon, and just something happened. He became the very first Universal Champion, but because he messed up his arm, regardless of whatever it was, he was gone for months, and he comes back and is just. That's why he went back to NXT. He's like, this sucks. I'm going to NXT, and then he became the Prince, and it was awesome. So you have that whole thing. So 205 Live.
Samoa Joe is another one too.
Well, Samoa Joe got. The only reason he came back to the company is because Triple H is like, no, back here, my guy, get back here. That's the whole reason he got axed again, is because Trips is no longer running the NXT anymore. That's not his show. And pretty much anyone who was part of the Black and Gold brand is getting axed left, right, and center. But anyway, 205 Live, Kofi Mania, the Money in the Bank match. That match. So the whole thing is that the week before Money in the Bank, Vinnie Mac told Ali that you're gonna win the briefcase at the end. You're gonna be the guy. All right. Literally. When Ali is making his entrance, his music hits and everything, Vinnie Mac pulls him aside and goes, what you're going to do is when you get to the ladder, you're going to reach for the briefcase. Do not grab the briefcase. Freeze. And Brock Lesnar's going to come out and take the briefcase. When Ali is making his entrance, think about that. He spends a week getting amped up. He's like, finally, it's my time. I'm finally going to get my redemption. I'm finally going, because I wasn't able to do the whole thing because of the injury. I'm finally going to have the briefcase and something can happen. He gets told seconds before he goes out to the ring, and finds out he has to lose. And he's the one who's like at the briefcase. He's right there. And then Brock comes out to go ahead and get the briefcase in a match that he's not even a part of. Like, of course.
That angered a lot of people, myself included. Like,
that was almost on point with Hell in a Cell 2019 when The Fiend lost. That was close to that. I think the most furious I've ever been was at that match. I've never been more mad at wrestling than The Fiend losing at Hell in a Cell 2019. But anyway, so you have that. So that is that. Then you have the hacker. And that was a great gimmick. I love the hacker gimmick. And like the hacker gimmick helped the Otis storyline. That was great. That was my favorite match at Mania 36.
He agrees with you. He's like, yeah, that was bull.
I know, right? So he's doing the hacker gimmick, and it's great. And all of us are like, it's Ali because he has the light symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Even though everyone in WWE is like, who? But it's great. But we knew it was Ali. He does the hacker gimmick. It's actually really cool. And he helped pay off the Otis and Mandy Rose storyline. I loved that. And then after that storyline ended, they didn't do anything with it. So here's this really cool, interesting character who's just hacking into SmackDown and just proving the heels wrong. I am the white coat hacker. I'm the white hat hacker. Where he's like, I'm the good guy. I'm going to go ahead and prove that the heels have been screwing over with other people. I am justice. I am the law, that kind of thing. It was great. But after the Otis storyline, they just ended it. The hacker just disappears. We don't hear from him. Nothing happens. We don't know why he's gone. Nothing. It just drops. And again, WWE does this with everything. If something they don't like or something they're like, we want to change it. They just never mention it. Never explain it away, just drops. So you have that. Then Retribution, which is probably the worst faction in wrestling. And mind you, that whole gimmick was crap on arrival. And they gave it to Ali. And the whole reason they created the Retribution faction is because weeks before they created Retribution, Ali's the leader and here are your guys. Here's Mia Yim. Here's Dominic Dijakovic. Here's Madden, Tio Madden. Here are the guys. They had, it was an episode of SmackDown and you had these people just here, throw a brick through a glass. Oh, run away. They come out to the ring and Michael Cole and Corey Graves are like, oh no, run away, oh no. And they're tearing everything up and destroying the ring. And then it's terrible. The Retribution shows up. They're going to go we're anarchy, we're chaos, da 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 da. And then in order to go ahead and create chaos, they get contracts from WWE. They are now contracted wrestlers in World Wrestling Entertainment, and part of their contract is that they have the ability to go ahead and create the chaos that they've already been doing, or Metribution. I like to call it Metribution. Props to Wrestle Talk for that. So you have this just terrible, and you give everyone crappy names. Dominic Dijakovic is now T-Bar. Dio Madden is now Mace. Mia Yim is now Reckoning. Which is probably the most okay out of all of them. And I think wasn't
there slap?
It was Slapjack. It was Slapjack, and I'm trying to remember. Was it Tim? I don't think it was Timothy Thatcher. I'm trying to remember who was that.
I think it was Timothy Thatcher. Right?
I'm just gonna quickly look. I just want to quickly remember.
Shane Thorne. It was Shane Thorne.
Shane Thorne. God, what a great wrestler Shane Thorne is.
Shane Thorne.
What a waste. What a waste. So here's this absolute crap gimmick. Just, it doesn't make sense. And here's the thing though. Everyone in that faction, so Dominic Dijakovic, Dio Madden, Mia Yim, everyone, including Ali, is doing everything they can to bend over backwards to try to make. Why is Dominic Dijakovic called T-Bar? Why is Shane Thorne called Slapjack? Do you want to know what Slapjack is? It's really disgusting. I'm not gonna say it.
Don't
But
say that on here.
It's not good stuff.
I hope to be monetized day sometime.
I'm
someday.
aware.
So
I'm aware.
Don't
worry. I work here too. So like, it just seems like the names were just. Oh, I need some names for this retribution. I need to make up a new faction. And the reason the faction existed is because the ratings were plummeting. So they like in the financial calls or whatever, ratings continue to plummet. And everything.
You can add Raw Underground to that too, because we had a couple weeks.
Because that was at the same time.
I actually kind of liked Raw Underground. It was actually pretty interesting, different concept.
It was a good concept, executed absolutely poorly. Like, man, I really wish Raw Underground, like when they announced it, I wish like the way they made it sound, they were like, oh, we have this new thing and blah, blah, blah. And I thought like, oh, so it's going to be your third hour? Because the whole thing is they have 3 hours and like, really just make Raw 2 hours. If you need to have that third hour,
that's not going to happen.
It's not, because it's all of the money WWE gets. But like, if you have that third hour, instead of it having it be just more filler crap for Raw, have it just be like, here's 2 hours of new programming for Raw, and then that third hour, just make it like a clip show. Like here's the Attitude Era. Here's the Ruthless Aggression Era. The whatever. You can just here's that. So they made Raw Underground, and I was thinking like, oh, this could be really cool. And like, I actually really liked it because it was more MMA. You were on a ring tarp, but you didn't have the ropes. Although you had the dancing ladies, which, well, like, what are we in 2000 again? Who's writing this? Is Vince Russo back? Get him out of here. Get Vince Russo out of here. Terrible. Get this crap out of here. I mean, like, it was still, like, the best part was, I think there was a bit when Dolph Ziggler fought. It was either one of the members of the War Machine Viking Experience, Viking Raiders. One of them, like, it was like, there were some good things, but it was never executed correctly. And it just felt filler, useless, who cares, whatever. So here's the thing. Here's the worst part. And I'll finish with the retribution thing. So Ali was fighting through injury. So he was like, I think it was like his back or something. But he was dealing with a big injury and he needed surgery or whatever. WWE goes to him and go, hey, look, if you can go ahead and fight through the injury, we'll give you a big payoff of this on a main event pay-per-view. We'll do it at SummerSlam or whatever, or at Mania or something. We'll give it'll be a big league thing on a big pay-per-view. So one of the big four.
Kind of like WWE, Team WWE versus Team Nexus.
I guess. I remember the Nexus, but I mean, mind you, that was rough too. The whole thing is that because Ali was building that he's gonna split off from the factions. Ali's gonna break off and that kind of thing. So we were gonna have a payoff from him breaking off and kind of being the heel. Well, we make this new Retribution faction kind of like faces or tweeners or whatever. Instead of that payoff happening at a big pay-per-view, at a main event or whatever, it happened on the kickoff show of Fastlane.
Didn't see it because
the most who gives a crap pay-per-view out of the entire year. Fastlane is the pay-per-view before Mania. No one cares about it because you have Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Fastlane, and then Mania. Fastlane doesn't matter because all they're doing is just extending what happens at Chamber to there. Nothing matters in Fastlane because they use Elimination Chamber to kind of set up the card. So it just, so they just pay it off in a nothing angle on the kickoff show. It just nothing happens. Ali goes ahead, comes in, they have a match, they lose, and then the faction turns on him. So great. Ali has been screwed again. The last thing, so this is what you were talking about, the whole like political thing. I love this promo. I actually, again, he put up, so this was months ago. I think it was like maybe like 2 months ago. He put this up November 13th of 2021. It's fantastic. And everyone watching or whatever, or if you see this video later or whatever, you need to watch this promo. This promo was not done by WWE. Mustafa Ali made this promo and pitched it as an idea to be like, hey, I have this idea. Here you go. So the promo is like him, like it's like a campaign speech. He's like in a suit, tie, and whatever. And he talks about how he calls it New America. And his whole thing is that like, I'm a Muslim, like I am Muslim, I am a Muslim, I am of this race. And you guys, like, it's using kind of like the race, like it's really deep and really thoughtful and extremely creative. Like me explaining it does not do it justice. You need to watch it. Like,
but hold on before you finish. But wouldn't a gimmick like that be a little controversial in today's world?
No, like the way it was done, like Mustafa Ali was amazing.
Even Steve agrees. He says he's heard it and it was great.
Do you have a way to like screen share something or whatever?
I don't want to get hit with the strike. I don't want to get hit with the strike. But yeah, there is a way to screen share.
Okay. Well, the promo is amazing. Everyone needs to go find it. But pretty much like it's about he's pretty much going like, because of he's like, I'm going to create a new America. I'm going like, it's not like, and he's not like going like, oh, racism. Oh, you're racist. No. There's levels to this. But like, the problem is that I do not trust WWE to do something that thought-provoking. Like,
yeah,
at all.
I think they would be
like,
scared.
It would, like, that whole thing would then turn into, you're the heel, oh, Muslim, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's too thought-provoking. It's an amazing promo. And, like, personally, if the people who have seen this promo, like, I really do hope, like, look, I want him to be granted his release. And mind you, WWE is in a very tough financial situation right now. They don't have any money. Like, they needed to get rid of, like, 180 wrestlers and talent and, backstage people because, man, money is so tight. Money is so, they're not making any money, even though they have like $2 billion coming from just Saudi Arabia. But man, they need to go ahead and cut the budget and deal with their budget and, budget cuts and all of that stuff. I think
so where do you think Ali goes from here? Where do you think he goes from here?
So this is my dream match. I personally want Ali. Like, of course, I'm going to go say to AEW confirmed. Of course I am. But the only reason I say that is that I want Mustafa Ali to take the New America gimmick that he made, take it to AEW, and I want a feud between him and Cody Rhodes. And guess who is the face in this feud?
Mustafa?
Yes. Mustafa Ali is the face of this feud, because the way you do this is that he's like, I'm going to create a new America, like, and he's trying to, again, it's very deep and trying to be like more like equality and stuff like that. But the way it's said, it doesn't sound like that. It's fantastic. It's very thought provoking. I watched that promo. I watched it like 3 times at least after I watched it. I want him to feud with Cody because Cody is, remember, he ended racism. He's Homelander. That's Cody Rhodes' whole thing. is that like I want him, like I cannot wait for him to come back on Wednesday, and I cannot wait. I'm gonna pop so hard when he does the pedigree to whoever it is. If it's Sammy, oh boy, like whenever he does that he has turned full heel. And then what you have is that you have Homelander Cody Rhodes versus New America Mustafa Ali, and you have this just fantastic like feud of America over America. I want that. I could also see him going to Impact because like the X Division is like him becoming X Division champion and then using option C to fight for the world belt against Moose, against Josh Alexander, against whoever.
Oh, I would like to see Mustafa Ali versus Ace Austin. That's for sure. I think they're equally matched.
Oh my god! I would just die. Oh god!
Too bad P.D. Williams is no longer with Impact, because I would have loved to have seen a Mustafa Ali versus P.D. Williams, or even Mustafa Ali versus TJP.
I know.
But anywho, I heard that Mustafa Ali might actually try his hand in acting. I know before he asked this release, he did tag Marvel in a post in which he wanted to audition or try out for Blade, and he had previously put his hat in for Aladdin, but he didn't get Aladdin.
I mean, like, I mind you,
he wouldn't be the first wrestler to go the acting route. I mean, obviously, Dwayne Johnson is one of the biggest actors in Hollywood.
I mean, like, mind you, like, we know him as The Rock because we're wrestling fans, but really to, like, everyone else, like, honestly, I don't think anyone remembers him as The Rock. Like, I think the only reason people do know of him as The Rock is because of his TV show called Young Rock. So, but anyway, so you have Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
You have John Cena. You have Dave Bautista. Mojo Rawley had a very quick cameo in G.I. Joe Snake Eyes.
He's great in it, by the way. He's great. I love it. He showed up. I popped so hard, and he's great. Very well done. And of course, Sasha Banks is in Mandalorian or
The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. So, like, look, even in AEW, you have Austin Gunn is doing a reality TV show for the E Network, which is owned by NBC Universal, who works very closely with WWE because that NBC Universal owns USA. So, and you have Austin Gunn, who is a AEW wrestler doing this. Of course, you have like Cody Rhodes is doing, the Go Big show and his own reality TV show of Rhodes to the Top. Like I want to see more wrestlers doing entertainment, like, and that's what they're good at.
Oh, we forgot Edge was in Highlander, and he was Adam Smasher in what show? What was the CW show?
Oh, yeah, it was
Green Arrow. Was it Green Arrow or was it The Flash? Adam Smasher.
Yeah. Oh God, dang it! I remember. Yeah, I know what you're talking. I love the. It was Edge, right? It was Edge.
Edge was Adam Smasher.
I think it was The Flash. Yeah, it was. Oh, I remember this. Oh, dude, it's so good. Yeah, buddy. I love it. I forgot about that. That was seasons ago. But yeah, it was The Flash. It definitely was The Flash. I loved it. What? So good. So good. Sorry, I'm just have to fix my battery.
It's okay.
But yeah, no, it's great. Like, I want to see more of that. But yes, Mustafa Ali doing superhero stuff with Marvel on like a Disney Plus show or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'd love that. I would love that. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I would adore that. But really, I just want like, no matter what, like, he's gonna get released. And no matter where he goes, like, go ahead and be king of the indies. Oh my God. Like, if he should, like, what about the pop if Ali gets released and he shows up in Chicago at All Out and looks at Punk and go, fight me. And then you just have two big, huge, like, just amazing Chicago gods go into a wrestling ring and fight. I would love to see that. Oh my God. Like,
I personally, even though that would be great, I wouldn't want to see Ali in AEW, and it's not because they have terrible booking or
Oh,
don't
I
know how to
know.
book stuff.
I know the real reason. It's because you want him in your promotion of Impact.
Actually,
Miss Impact.
I was gonna say, thank you, by the way. I was gonna say, I feel like AEW is starting to become stacked. It's starting to become stacked. And I mean, look, Jay Lethal debuted, had an amazing match against Sammy Guevara. He went to Dark and recently just came back. So I feel like I mean, who in AEW can do what Ali can do it better. You get me? I just feel
You're not wrong.
The roster is really stacked. Like Dante Martin is good, so I just feel like there might not be any room for Ali anymore.
And look, I do agree with AEW's roster being so stacked. Like, it's ridiculously stacked. And yes, there's only X amount of time you have on a show to put on. And look, here's the thing. We're coming to the 3 years of AEW, and contracts are ending. Peter Avalon is either has been released or will be getting released. He's not renewing. We already have Big Swole, who did not resign. We're going to come to a point where contracts will expire because it's the end of their contract and they won't resign because of whatever reason. We may, whether this year or next year, we may see our first AEW to WWE transition. And look, they're WWE says they're not in the wrestling business anymore. Ha! That's a lie, because you keep trying to screw with your AEW is not competition. MLW is not competition. Bullcrap. You just say that, but you very much believe they are. Hence why there's this lawsuit with MLW to WWE, with WWE allegedly screwing MLW out of their agreement with Vice and Tubi. That's a whole other thing. But Jesus,
But honestly, what's really gonna come out of that? They're just gonna pay money. Nothing's gonna happen.
I mean, MLW is gonna fight this, and I'm really MLW. I mean, mind you, if MLW
good luck to them. But I don't really think anything's gonna happen besides Vince paying a couple minutes, which is just chump change to them.
I mean, look, the
to quote Vince McMahon, he's won every lawsuit he's ever been a part of, except against the Panda.
I mean, well, yeah, but I mean, that's what he has. He has more resources than anyone he has out of the entire wrestling industry when it comes to money. I follow Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, and the stats of wrestling ratings and revenue and all that kind of stuff. He does streams once or twice a week, and he did a stream about this whole lawsuit, and 87% of all of the money made in professional wrestling, and that's worldly. So WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan, MLW, GCW, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, PWG, all of them. Every single wrestling promotion, all of them. WWE makes 87%, takes 87% of all of the money. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So they have a whole thing, and they have the pull. The whole thing is what happened is that I think it was August 10th. MLW was going to announce that, hey, we have a deal with Tubi, which is a pretty much a free live service. It's like Pluto TV. Pretty much you can download it and watch. It's just streaming TV over and over and over again. I watch Pluto and I watch Impact. I have Pluto on right now. I'm watching TNA back in 2002, 2003, where Raven is still here. Our truth is still truth. Austin Creed hasn't come to WWE yet, old TNA. So regardless, so the whole thing is they were gonna have this deal, but then WWE heard about this. Stephanie McMahon then calls up Fox, because Fox owns Tubi, calls them up and goes, hey, and again, this is allegedly, the only reason people think that is because they're the press release was supposed to go up on the 10th, but it never came out. And there were reports that Stephanie McMahon went to or called LA or called Fox LA, like or went there or whatever, and had a discussion with them. And people are the through line to this is that people are thinking that Stephanie McMahon called Fox in LA and went, hey, if you are in bed, and I'm paraphrasing, if you are in bed with MLW, we will pull our programming from Fox, meaning and like that's pretty much SmackDown. And like, mind you, this is not the first time. Back in like the 90s, I think it was like 94, 95, 96. It was like WrestleMania 5. There was an NWA pay-per-view that was going to happen at the same time as that Mania. And WWE, and this was when like WWE did not have the pull they have right now at all. They still called all of like the networks and stuff and went, hey, if you put this NWA show on your channel or on your network, we will pull WrestleMania. Mind you, that Mania has already been bought and it's going to make tons of money. And the thing is that, do you honestly think Vinnie Mac would go ahead and just yoink this entire thing away and not make the money from that? No, he wouldn't. But he bluffed and it worked. All the networks then pretty much went, nope, we do not want to lose WrestleMania. And that's what happened. So, like, this is not the first time this has happened.
And
like,
if you recall, WWE was declared an essential business.
Well, it's professional wrestling. Yes, it is because of Linda McMahon, and like because Linda McMahon is married to Vince McMahon. Yes, like they couldn't do just WWE because you can't. It's like it's not legal. But the point of it, so that way WWE could keep going. But then by doing that, that also allowed AEW to go ahead and continue doing, their shows at Daily Place, which, you win some, you lose some, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've covered almost everything. We talked about Mustafa Ali. We reviewed Raw. Any final thoughts before we get ready to sign off? Because we're getting to overtime here.
That's fine, but I mean, mind you, there is one big other thing that kind of happened today. It's kind of a big deal, and it can relate to what's happening in Raw. Did you hear?
What?
Cody Rhodes is a free agent. He is not under contract at AEW at all. He is right now just kind of on a like handshake agreement with Tony Khan. Like he's the TNT, he has the TNT title and all that stuff. Like he is not under contract, EVP and rest. Like he has no contract with AEW at all right now, which is kind of a big deal because all of the guys who like the Bucks renewed their contract. Omega is still under contract, but we don't know like what's going on with that whole thing. We don't know if he's resigning or whatever. But he's a complete free agent. He could, if he wanted to. And the thing is that Cody Rhodes still has good relations with WWE. He has good relations with Impact. He has good has good relations with like everyone. He could, if he wanted to, and it was agreed upon, he could be that like rumored Forbidden Door participant in the Men's Rumble. He could be that guy. How crazy would it be if, and mind you, Tony Khan isn't against working with other wrestling companies. And we've seen that with Impact. We've seen that with GCW. We've seen that like Moxley's going to go ahead and fight for the GCW belt this coming Sunday. Like, so like Cody Rhodes could show up at the Rumble. I don't think that's happening. I
honestly think see Chris Jericho more so than Cody and Moxley.
I like if I would have to be like mind you, pretty much reports have said that there are no AEW guys. But if I would have to be like who from AEW would show up in the Rumble, I would say Jericho first before everyone. It could be, but like Moose has been like very much on Twitter, just like saying, hey, yo, Roman, you say you're head of the table. Well, I'm a wrestling god. Fight me. So Moose has been going like, hey, I might show up at the Rumble and stuff. I mean, who knows? I think we talked about it last week or whatever with Mickie James. And it's a one-off. Like if there is someone from Impact, someone from another wrestling company showing up in the men's Rumble, it's a one and done. They need people. They pretty much like killed half of their entire roster over the course of the past 2 years, and they don't have enough people. And they don't want to use people from NXT 2.0 because they're very, 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 very green. Go watch NXT 2.0. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I'm not watching NXT 2.0.
Oh God, it's just I can't. I would rather watch Raw and SmackDown.
I'd rather watch paint dry.
Like it's bad. I like Raw. Like Raw is absolutely terrible. Like Raw is trash. SmackDown is boring. But I would rather.
There's some good things about Raw. Some.
Which is just Roman. There's nothing else.
I said Raw, not SmackDown.
Oh, Raw? Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Like, what is it? RK Bro. RK Bro is great. I do like the 4 women. So, like, Liv, Becky, Bianca, Doudrop. I
to be kind of honest, I actually kind of like a little bit what you're doing with Nikki ASH. I might be by myself on that. But I feel like it's very comic book. Like, I guess you can kind of say it's kind of like the Cody Rhodes thing. She doesn't see herself as a villain. She sees Rhea as a villain in her story.
I was so happy when she was the one who turned heel, because the whole story was they were very much like just going like Rhea's going to turn. Rhea doesn't like Nikki because she thinks that she's lesser than her. That's what they were showing, and then they did the twist, and Nikki was the one to turn. And I did like that. I'm like, mind you, the segment today, I'm bored. Well, wasn't that the one with either the match never happened?
Did the match never happened?
Oh God, it sucked. Like, you have the match is about to begin, and then you have Zelina and Carmella come out, and they go ahead and talk trash where it's just you're just either repeating yourself or nothing makes sense. And then Nikki beats the tar out of Rhea, and who cares? What was the match that you were like furious about that had a DQ? Was it the main event?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what happened? I missed the main event.
The Hurt Business came out and attacked Lashley, and then the Usos pretty much attacked Seth Rollins.
Oh my God. So because you had a Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley match.
Yeah.
The match, I'm guessing, was pretty good because it's the 2 of them. And then the Hurt Business come out because, of course, God, you had a great faction in the Hurt Business. You went ahead and just screwed it all up. God, I want to like WWE. I want to enjoy Raw. I want to enjoy SmackDown, but I can't because it's terrible. And go ahead and add, like, my best friend's wife does not watch wrestling at all, ever. And there was like one time she watched, like, she just was like at her family's house. This was like around Christmas. She was at her family's house, and she went ahead and was like just SmackDown was on in the background. Why? I don't know. But she was like watching SmackDown. And then I remember I saw her like the next day or the day after, and she said, like, "Hey, Brett, I watched SmackDown on Friday." I'm like, "Oh, really? What did you think?" And she's like, "It sucked. It was terrible." And I'm like, "Yep, I know. I'm glad that you see that." And it's not because like, screw WWE. No, like, I like all wrestling. I like wrestling. And again, you have heard me give props to things on Raw. I enjoyed the graduation ceremony for Otis. I enjoyed Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, that whole bit, and like that match with Damian. That was great. I like the feud that's happening between the 4 women, even though it's repetitive and boring. These 4 women are definitely good at what they do, and I am excited. I am looking forward to seeing Doudrop fight Becky at
even
Rumble.
though we know she's gonna lose.
Oh, she's gonna lose. Oh God, she's gonna lose. But it's gonna be a good match. Like that Liv Morgan match was phenomenal. I love that Liv Morgan match. Like,
well, I think we covered all our bases now. So, is there anything you want to say to the people watching or listening, or who may be watching this on replay before we get ready to sign off?
Yeah. So the Raw out of 5, I'd give it a 2. It's just whatever. Maybe a 3. Maybe a 3. It was fine. It's just there were things that frustrated me, but then there were things that I did enjoy and I laughed at. I'd give it a 3. 3 out of 5. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. But anyway, but if you very much enjoy listening to me or just hear me talk or whatever it would be, you can go ahead and go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brotherhood of Geeks, that I cover video games and TV shows and stuff like that. I pretty much I have my PlayStation podcast called Dual Shocked, where we went ahead and just talked about the announcement of the new PlayStation VR 2 for the PS5. That's going to be great. And I do reaction videos and unboxings and other stuff. Actually, I'll be having a reaction to the new Moon Knight trailer from Marvel. So I look forward to that. You can also follow me on my Twitter at DualShockedBOG. I went ahead and mentioned it before, but it's DualShockedBOG, DualShockkedBOG on Twitter. You can go ahead and follow us when we stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Brotherhood of Geeks. We do have an Instagram, which is instagram.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. And then we also have our Facebook, which is facebook.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. All the social media stuff and all that stuff. But yeah, if you like video games and nerd culture and pretty much mostly video games, because that's what we're covering, but we also do reaction videos and unboxings and all that kind of stuff, go to the Brotherhood of Geeks. I cover a lot of stuff. And of course, I talk about wrestling sometimes because I very much do enjoy wrestling. So yeah.
As for myself, you guys know I do cover Power Rangers. I haven't bought any Power Rangers content so far this year. But bear in mind, I am trying to revamp my thumbnails for Legacy of Power and my overlay. I want to make sure it's good before I do it this year. But I might meet Johnny Young Bosch on Sunday, who, as we all know, as Adam Park, the second Black Ranger, Green Zeo Ranger, or Zeo Ranger 4 Green, and the first Green Turbo Ranger. And I might also meet Campbell Cooley. Who knows?
Or as I like to call Johnny Young Bosch, my boy. Oh, I love Johnny Young Bosch. I love that.
But just keep an eye out for that vlog. And then the following weekend, I gotta rush to do this. I might meet Austin St. John for the 4th time, and David Felding, who does the voice of Zordon.
Yeah. Love it.
So, and then I gotta rush home for the Royal Rumble. So keep an eye out for those 2 things. If you follow me on Twitter at Datila_, I definitely will be posting updates if those come through. And as well, I hope that I have more Morphin Mondays ready to go by February at this point. And yeah, and then keep an eye out for Legacy of Power also in February too. So that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.
AEW. Bye.